My goodness! Once you knock upon the door, you have to enter. You have to be present. You knocked on the door, and it took me a few milliseconds to get to the door. I was ready to open the door. I looked at the people. There was no one there. And I thought, you knocked on the door. It's like 5-7 seconds, and I undid the deadbolt and I undid the doorknob lock, and I opened the door and I looked, and there was no one there. So I peered around the corner, and there you were. And I said, "What are you doing?" And you said, I'm just tucking in." And she said her uniform had come undone, so she stepped around the side to tuck in. I said, "You tuck in." There was no one at the people. I looked at the people. There was nobody. I was very scared. I debated on moving a bunch of my stacks of magazines and newspapers away from my closet so I could get my shotgun, because maybe I had to protect myself because somebody knocked. It was like I'm not in a Halloween special. This is not a Halloween thing. No, I looked. There was no one there. Like 5 seconds, it takes me 5 seconds. I was putting on my house shoes. I have house shoes to protect my bunions and my corns and my plantar fasciitis. I have the house shoes because of my bunions and my corns and my plantar fasciitis. And so it took me 5 seconds. I mean, if it was it was a 7 second. I don't think it was 7 seconds. I think it was like under 5 seconds. It was definitely a 5 second, sub 5 second get to the door. And I looked through the people, and there was no one there. Nobody. And so it was very suspicious, and I thought perhaps I should move all my magazines and my stacks of newspapers. It's like a tower I'm building on a daily basis, a monthly basis for magazines, on a daily basis for newspapers. And should I have to move them so I could get my shotgun? No. So I said, no, I will get a butcher knife. And I was too lazy. I was going to get a butcher knife or a screwdriver from my utility room. I have a / utility room kitchen situation for myself in my life. It's a very good thing. I have a very good, very nice. I could have got a screwdriver. I could have got a butcher knife, anything. A steak knife. I could have come out with 2 steak knives, anything. I have a dog. Perhaps I would sick my dog on him. But my dog, he doesn't really want to sick on anybody. He's like a wimp. It's a wimp dog. This dog, like if a butterfly challenged him, he would fly away. I saw a puppy make my dog run away. This puppy didn't know any better, so he ran up to my dog to say hello, but somehow he got afraid because my dog's hair was staying on his back. His back hairs was up all over the dog. I'm like, you're standing up to a puppy. The puppy's wearing you. Half the hairs on the back of your head or the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up because you're a freaking what? A puppy? And the puppy's like 7 or 8 ounces. My dog's like 35, 40 pounds. He's a svelte running dog. He's a runner and a herder. But this dog, he could fight anybody. He could be a savage dog, but he's a little bit of a pussy. He's a little afraid. He's a little afraid of everything. So the puppy ran up, and all of a sudden the puppy saw whatever the vibe of my dog, and the puppy growled and barked, and my dog ran up a hill. My dog picked out the highest hill he could get to the top of, and he ran up the hill. And I was wondering what would happen if anything could happen. If I was looking through my people and I couldn't see nobody on the other side, and it was like 5 seconds, I had to put on my special shoes with the bunion and the arch support and the plantar fasciitis remedies. And I would get to 5 seconds it took me, and there was no one there. And I thought, should I have to move my magazine stacks and my paper stacks, my newspaper stacks I'm building on a daily basis, layer by layer on a daily basis? Or should I call my dog, and my dog could investigate? And maybe my dog could come over. But like I said, my dog was not that kind of dog because I watched him with a puppy. It was a crazy thing because I go over there to try to throw a piece of meat or a piece of cheese at this mother dog with these 2 puppy dogs, and so. But so one day I brought my own dog in, so I thought my own dog would romp and play or be happy, and my own dog was scared. His hair stood up when he saw them, and he's otherworldly, my dog. He's afraid of everything. He's afraid of his shadow? No, this dog is afraid of his own ears. If this dog could see his ears in his shadow, he'd be horrified. But the puppy, he growled, and he like charged a little bit, and my dog ran up the highest hill. The highest hill you could, if you had some sort of a system, you could employ men to go out with big poles and tripods, with the tripods and the thing on the top of the tripod that does it, like it's like a camera, but it's not a camera. It's like a viewfinder, and it's like a surveyor thing. They do the surveying. They have so they could survey. My dog could be at the very. If you scared my dog and you wanted to know the highest mountain because you had to go survey the valley, you could say to my dog, I'm going to spank you, and my dog would run to the top of the highest hill. You wouldn't even have to measure. You could just go up there. This is the highest hill. This dog knows. This dog is running to the highest hill anytime he's scared. And that puppy scared my stupid dog so bad, he ran up into the highest mountain around. It was disgusting. We were all so ashamed. They were like, what's this dog? What do we got? Oh, it's just a puppy. This puppy weighs 7 ounces. You could hold it in a catcher's mitt. Like amply, with like a half to spare, you could hold this puppy in a catcher's mitt. And my dog ran up and says, we're happy. And that little dog was wagging his tail. My dog was wagging his tail. They're wagging the tails. And my dog shouldn't be that scared. All of a sudden, my dog bolted. He bolted like Usain Bolt could bolt. And he sprinted to the top of the highest hill. I employed some men one time, and I actually met with surveyors, and they took the tripod with the thing on the top where they could look through, and there was a man with a pole a long distance away, and they did a lot of math problems, and all of a sudden they said it was the highest mountain. My dog immediately, I had it verified, certified, and I had some people come over, a notary public, and she's certified it. But getting back to the point, this dog who, if you need to find the highest point in your place for floodplain evaluations or anything, or insurance reasons or lawsuits, this dog, we could bring this dog out, we could light a single firecracker and throw it on the ground. The dog would bolt like a shot of lightning. He would go to the highest mountain you ever saw, the highest hill we have. He might even veer. I've seen the dog, he sprints out, he goes, he thinks he takes a big long run, but then he veers. He takes a big circle and he goes to the highest one. The second highest one has caught his attention first, but his intuition, he was bolting away, and behind him to the right was the highest hill. But his intuition, there's no reason why this dog should look. He was bolting like a streak of lightning to the highest hill. It turned out to be the second highest hill fractionally, just by a small margin. And this dog, but he sensed it, and he turned and he ran. And he ran up to the highest one. And there's photographs, and we certified it. We had people come over. Notary republics. You got to get a notary republic, and you got to get the newspapers, and then you can certify. And we certified. We certified the dog sprint was the second highest. We certified the second highest. We certified the arc the dog took, like a rainbow arc he took to come back to the right one, and the dead sprint at the end up a hill. This dog had been in training. But as I peered at my eye hole in my door, and I looked through, and there was nobody there, and I knew I'd only just put on my house shoes, so I could answer, because I don't like to walk around because of my bunions and my corns and my plantar fasciitis. So I put, but 5 seconds is all it takes, because this is a big part of my life. I know this is what happens. I peered through the hole, and there was nobody there, so I was scared. And I thought about getting my shotgun out, but I thought it would be so hard to move all my stacks of magazines and newspapers. And the newspapers I'm building up like a layer of bricks on a daily basis. July 24th, July 25th, July 26th. I try to read them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I always stack them. They're there, but I would have to slide them away to get to the shotgun, because I was thinking about arming myself with a shotgun, because who would knock on a door and just disappear? Who's trying to knock on a door and disappear? Nobody, except the killers. The assassins. Yeah, the killers. The serial killers, the assassins, and the nuts. They're out there trying to knock on the door and duck away from the people. You have to smile at the people. You say, I'm here to talk to you. So you smile to the people. But if you disappear and it was a knock, you could know. This is a knock that it shot a bolt of lightning through your upper, thoracic, your pulmonary thoracic thing. Yes, it was a bad knock. It was a menacing knock. And I went and I looked, and when I got there, I thought I could sense an evil presence behind the door. And I looked, and there was nobody there, but you could see way out into the distance, because behind the hallway to my apartment complex hallway situation where I live in this apartment, there's some kind of a utility, not a utility, but like a glamour room. It's some kind of a ballroom or some kind of a gathering room for the people. They would gather there, but it's high ceilings, very high ceiling, with a big, nice, beautiful fireplace at the far end. So it's like a kind of like a ballroom, and so I could see menacingly out across the stars, and I mean, the shafts of sunlight from our star, the sun, the shafts of light and the intermitting of the, with the shadow and the crossing, and you look deeply over there until you get to the fireplace. It's a long way to look for a 5-second, can't get up to the door, and you look through the people, and there's no one there. Because if they just staggered backwards, or they fell, or they were confused, you look to the people for 4 seconds, they would stagger back into the view of the people. But because you could see out like 100 yards, you could see almost 100 yards down through straight away with the people. So it had to be around the corner. So I called my dog, because I'm not arming myself with a shotgun. I'm going to get my dog, and me and my dog, we opened it up, the top bolt and then the doorknob bolt. And when we opened up, we went around the bend, and there was this woman. And I asked her what she was doing. Why are you confusing me? Why are you trying to? What are you trying to menace me or trying to? What are you doing? Why would you even knock and then you floundered or you fell upon? You fell back around to the corner, around to the side where no one could see you from the people, and. This woman, she had kind of an accent. She was actually very slender, and I immediately noticed how slender this slightly aged. She was a little slightly aged. She's a little bit older, but still very foxy in a very thin and slinky kind of way. So right away, but with the accent, you would say this person. She should get some kind of a plus for that accent. If this woman was a 7.8, maybe now she's an 8. An 8.85 with that accent. Maybe I'm pushing a 9 with the accent, with the slenderness. I was contemplating, and I was almost getting ready to plug the coordinates into Computron and see what Computron would say, but I didn't have to go that far because Computron is too overbearing. Computron, once you alert or activate enable to function, you activate Computron, it's over, and Computron, he takes over. So I'm not looking to try to get into Computron. So, but I finally, I said to this girl, I said, you're menacing me, and it's a dangerous thing because my dog, even though he's a coward and he's cowering at the farthest end of the apartment, if this dog was that scared, he perhaps would bolt and run over top of you, and this would not be a good thing. And if I wanted to move all my magazine stacks and my newspaper stacks, I would have got out my shotgun. But I was way too, I couldn't even really hold up my drawers. I forgot to get my pants. I forgot to get my belt, so I kept my pants kept slipping down over my ass, and I kept trying to hoist them up, but my belly was so fat I couldn't get hoist up the drawers, my pantaloons, my pants. I could not get them up high enough to buy me enough time. And they were stopped. They were stofed out. They were stifled at the belly. I couldn't get them up. If I could get them up over my ass or something, I could do better, but my belly hangs so low, I couldn't get it up over the belly, and the belly was guarding it. And it kept slipping down. And so I was trying to make a point to this girl that it's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing to be vanishing from a people, from a person like myself, who is a very, a virile kind of and a cagey and a very self-aware, and he's from his surroundings. You'd be careful. And this man, he perhaps like me could be armed, ready, so for whatever could happen. If you want to do a home invasion, I could get to my weapon in I timed it one time. It was like 3 minutes 35 seconds. So I would let my family members try to bombard the man and dive on him and fight him, and they would get slammed down there. Hopefully they would pop up and fight a little bit better and harder. And my boy, he would finally get a shovel, maybe try to stove in, but but for 35 minutes, maybe I would jump in, maybe a little knee action, a little knee, try to do a little knee elbow, jab thing. But I would fall back, and I finally would get my 20 gauge shotgun. But I couldn't in this situation that I was concerned with, because of the far-reaching peephole that you could search through the universe of people and not see the person. So this is cagey, this is weird. This person, they're trying to trick you because there's such a long straight view. And then if the person had been sick, they could stagger back into the side of the people so you could see, and you would feel less alarmed. Or try to call up your wimpy dog who could do nothing, or try to move your magazines and your things so you could get into the shotgun. And the shotgun seemed like the best bet. That's the hard thing about a home invasion, or anything to do with weaponry. You do have to say, I'm taking a chance. But if there's no home invasions, then you took a bad chance, and you made a chance where you could shoot yourself or kill, or have a family member maim themselves or kill themselves because you had such a violent, horrifying thing in your house. But when you have a home invasion and you have to get to the weapon, then it's a good thing if you could get to it a little faster than 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Because my insurance agent, my lawyers, they said this is not good enough. You have to get to it much faster, because everybody will be killed, including you, if it takes you 3 minutes and 35 seconds in your apartment to get to a closet, not only a few feet from where you sleep. If this is 3 minutes and 35 seconds to arm yourself with and that was the thing, I could get to the weapon probably in a minute 45, but I couldn't get to the shells, the shotgun shells. I couldn't get to the ordnance. I couldn't get to the ordnance. I could get to the weapon, but I could not get to the ordnance. And then, because it took me a minute 25 to get to the weapon, and then it took me another long period of time because there's many hiding places I kept the ordnance. But once I've located them, then they said you were devastating, but you would have probably been dead by like almost 3 minutes and probably almost a half. You had perhaps the man said you got 15 seconds to get your weapon and be loaded and locked and ready to kill. And you have 15 seconds. Usually it's 3, 4, 5 seconds, 6 seconds to command or overpower a situation with your weapon. 6 seconds. If you're not armed and ready to meet the barrier, and you have to have a good barrier because it might take them. If it takes them less than 6 seconds, you're gonna be armed in 4 seconds or 3 seconds. It doesn't matter, because but when you walk around the side and it's just a girl and she's got a little puppy, it looks like Benji from Benji and the Stars, or Benji and the balloons. They flew the balloons with the dog Benji. It was a crazy thing, and she was dressed a little like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, and I was very, very curious. I said, "What is exactly were you doing?" And she said, at the end, "I was pretending to be a Jehovah's Witness. I was going to give you some literature as I pretended to be a Jehovah's Witness." And then the secondary thing would be that you would think she's not a Jehovah's Witness. Perhaps she could be a Mormon, but the Mormon girls, I don't think they come out. I don't think there's Mormon girls. So then you go back to Jehovah's Witness, or maybe some kind of a Baptist or Pentecostal situation where they were going door to door and trying to recruit. But you would just, you would finally say to this girl, it's not, she turned out to be a fake Jehovah's Witness who was trying to sell meat that they had stolen in New Jersey. So some meat, some good cuts. From what I understand, my neighbors bought. I was afraid because I was like, once you try to trick me up this bad and you're trying to sell me meat from New Jersey, and I live in Kentucky, and I'm here in Kentucky, and you have meat from New Jersey, and you're trying to sell it to me with a Dorothy-esque character, with a more of a, not Toto, more of a Benji kind of a dog, and you've knocked, and then you disappeared around the bend, and you make me come out till I'm vulnerable. I was like, no, I'm not buying any of your meat. What do I know? I don't know nothing about your meat. I was indignant with this woman, but I thought she was so sexy and good. I wanted to buy some meat just to show her, I appreciate everything she's trying to do, but then she knew. I rejected her so hard she knew, and she left. And I didn't, at that point I was done. And so I came back and I locked the top bolt, and then I locked the bolt, the doorknob lock. So I was doubly protected, and I put a chair up under the doorknob, so if they were, if they started taking pry bars or something to my deadbolt, then I would have a few more seconds to get to my gun. And that's what the man didn't understand. I have a good layers of protection and a very keen awareness, and I'm a light sleeper. So I have 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go get to be armed with my weapon filled with its ordnance, its shotgun shells, and be ready to do everything that you need to do with the shotgun shells and the blasting. Oh, I'm ready. I can't wait to the blasting and the shotgun shells, because I want to see. I want to fucking see some. Oh, excuse me. I don't. I'm not. No. I take Ambien, so sometimes I think when I get up and I reach to the closet, I try to get to the shotgun shells because I have the Ambien. I think I'm some kind of a situation where I should shoot, but I'll never get by the stacks of magazines and newspapers. Those newspapers I'm building up for like July 27th, July 28th, July 29th. June, it was June 25th, 26th, 26th, June 27th, June 28th. Yes, that's what it was.